Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with selections for Tuesday, the 7th of March. Well, a very mixed day. Unfortunately, it wasn't a profitable day, even though we had two 25 and 28 to 1 runners or placed horses that had very, very realistic chances of actually winning the race. But unfortunately, neither of them could win. It would have been a totally different story if they'd have both won. But unfortunately, we couldn't get anything else with them. And the evening racing has so far been extremely disappointing. Well, it's actually game over. There's one still to run, but I've had doubles and upwards, so nothing to come off that. So on to Tuesday's racing. Well, it's a really poor day in my opinion. What I've gone for, I've only gone for two races. I've gone for three horses in one race and two in the other, and all I've had is 50 pence each way doubles. And this is what I've done with the prices. So in the first race, the 2:15 at Lingfield, Sky Bet are paying five places instead of three. I do think there's a number of fancied horses with poor draws. It's a dreadful race, and I think because it's the first five, we could maybe sneak a decent price or a decent selection in the places. So let me get into them. So the first selection is Long Time Coming, and I've left the price. Second selection is Miss Elsa at 28 to 1. And the third selection is Hot Day, and I've left the price with that one as well. I do think Long Time Coming could be very interesting. It is the outside. It was in the paper 100 to 1. It was 66s on Sky there, but I've left it because I think it could touch 100 to 1. It's got two pieces of form, in my opinion, that could see it come in the first seven. Yep, don't get me wrong, that isn't good enough if it becomes sixth or seventh. But I do think if this horse gets an easy lead, I'm a bit concerned about why it's been off for 62 days. Well, that's another story. But I do think if it gets an easy lead, it's got five places up for grabs, five payout places. Could be very interesting. It wasn't beaten a million miles last time, even though in the last two races it's hardly beat anything home. But it has been running at Kempton, so I'm hoping that the change of venue might help it. It's never ran at Lingfield before, so yeah, it's more taking on a bit of hope than anything else. So let's get into the next race. So the final race I'm going for is in the 7 o'clock at Southwell. Yeah, it is a big jump time wise, but I've gone for Just Call Repeat at 9 to 2 and Perseverance at 12 to 1. They've got half decent draws or decent draws, and I do think once again paying first five, it's an half decent bet really. I do think Just Call Repeat has got a fantastic chance of winning. It's not been beaten far. It's won one in its last three runs, but even in the other two runs, it's not been beaten far. And the same goes for Perseverance, but we've really got to be having Just Call Repeat winning, to be honest. And what we need with it is ideally minimum one of the other horses in the other race to come placed. So as I said, in the 7 o'clock Southwell, paying five places instead of three, I've gone for Just Call Repeat at 9 to 2 and Perseverance at 12 to 1. So those are the selections for Tuesday, the 7th of March. What I am going to do, I'm more than likely going to have a couple of days off now. So that's likely going to be the case, but I could change my mind. I don't think I will do. But if you're not a subscription, no. If you're not subscribed, click the subscribe button. Then you will get a notification when I actually publish a video if I change my mind. So if you can do me a favour, either subscribe to the channel or like this video, that would be absolutely fantastic. And I think we're not too far away. I can smell a decent bet. Whether the betting gods are saving us a decent payout for Cheltenham, but I am looking at the Cheltenham race. Don't think I forgot about Cheltenham or I don't build up to it. I am watching Cheltenham. However, I'm also watching the weather forecast because I did look a while back. I think it was like a 30-day weather forecast, and they're getting out fine weather. Well, you can't really rely on it, to be honest, but obviously with a bit of snow knocking around, I think this snow forecast round about Cheltenham, I think it's Wednesday time. I could be wrong, but I'm going to keep watching the weather. I did see a horse at the weekend that runs Friday, and it ran at Cheltenham last year, and I'm watching it very closely because I really fancy that horse. And the interesting thing about that horse is there was a very fast pace in the race, and it was the only one to sustain it, although it was just beaten towards the finish. Everything else that the one that won the race came from miles behind, and so did all the rest of them. I think the first 6 places. I think this horse came second in the end, but it was only one to race up with a hard pace, fast pace, but also looked like possibly winning at one point, took the lead. And I saw it run at Cheltenham last year, and it ran an absolute crack. And I think it came third or fourth in the end. But I'll be watching that horse very closely. I won't reveal it just yet. I'm keeping it on the ground. But Cheltenham selections won't be too far away. It'll probably more than likely Sunday or Monday when I put the selections out. Possibly Sunday night. So anyway, the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.